final time in a home singlet for the Buckeyes. Here comes Luke Pletcher, #1 ranked wrestler at 141 pounds. And this is a guy who started early in this season, knocking off the, at the time, #1 Dom Demas to take that top ranking, and he has done nothing to make those who put him there regret it.
Yeah, he's just been looking like he's on another level this year. Not the undisputed #1, though, some would say, but that should be settled next week.
We'll figure it out.
Nick Lee also been looking lights out along with Luke Pletcher, so that's going to be the marquee matchup of next week.
No doubt about it. The winner will emerge #1.
And it'll probably be the first of a couple meetings.
You would think. 2, maybe 3.
Luke Pletcher got to be careful on the edge here. It's back to the edge of the circle, but he'll spin around.
Pletcher 22-0 on the season. 3-time Pennsylvania state champion. He's qualified for the NCAA tournament every year in a Buckeyes singlet. Each of the last 2 years he has stood on the podium as an All-American.
Started his freshman year once Keyshawn Hayes got injured. Had to step in the lineup at 141 pounds. Wasn't as filled out as he is right now.
Seemed undersized that year at 141.
Yes, he was, but then returned to his more natural 133 for the past 2 seasons and back up at 141 now. Definitely fills into the weight class well. Pletcher driving in pretty hard.
And there is the stall call for going off the mat against Alec McKenna, senior, 5-6 on the year. 141-pounder for the Northwestern Wildcats.
Those guys did wrestle each other back in 2016.
Takedown for Pletcher.
Pletcher won that meeting 18-6 by major decision.
Well, and back in 2016, Luke Pletcher scoring that many points probably takes 4 or 5 matches.
Right. Yeah, that's surprising.
Now, the 2019-2020 version of Pletcher, that's not been the case. And I talked to him about that the other day at the media availability. And I asked him, what's the impetus for that? And as it turns out, in his mind, it's a few things. It's obviously having, with all due respect to Gary Traub, the gas tank to go full into matches. A little physicality going on here out in this match, and the referee warning both guys. Pletcher saying, hey, it's a wrestling match. What are we doing here? It's wrestle. He's in on a shot, but the combination of having energy, boy, right into another takedown, and Pletcher looks to continue the physicality here.
Yes, he does. Some hard clubs.
Working the head there of McKenna a little bit, but having the energy, being up the weight, having confidence in his attacks. With every win against a highly ranked opponent, that confidence just grows and grows, and there's a head and arm. No takedown.
Runs out of room.
I thought maybe he was just going to keep that and see if he could secure it with his feet still in bounds. Went to look for the go-behind and talking with Jay Jaggers about Luke Pletcher and what makes him a big part of this team off the mat. He just said he's just so low maintenance. You don't need to worry about the fact that Pletcher's getting his work in. He's doing the right thing. He's being an example to the rest of the program. 2 takedowns for Pletcher here. Surprised there wasn't a stall call there near the out-of-bounds line.
Then to go action. I could see it going either way, but I would not have been surprised if they hit McKenna there.
30 seconds remaining in opening period. 30 seconds.
Still 4-2, 30 seconds left.
Heavy hands from Pletcher here.
Yes, a lot of activity. To see if he'll be able to keep it up and how long McKenna's able to weather this storm.
Well, not only the stall point, but it looks like Pletcher is trying to finish off this takedown here. McKenna lost his whizzer, and now with Pletcher able to cover the far ankle, he will get the takedown and out of bounds. No, they don't. I thought the referee was waving them out of bounds, but he was making the call for McKenna to be wary of being down on the legs. Now they do go out with 2 seconds still left on the clock. 1.9.
Just like that, goes from 4-2 to 7-2. Went from a 1-score match to now he needs a couple.
Quick start there on Pletcher. They're going to hit him for a caution. Yeah, that's a big swing in just a few seconds.
I let 0.9 seconds fall off the clock, but inconsequential.
Right, that's the end of the first period. So for Pletcher really getting after it, like we've seen him attack, we've seen him really have a variety of offenses, but I don't know that we have seen this type of wrestling from Luke Pletcher much in his Buckeyes career.
No, I don't think so. I can't remember any matches.
Another caution on Pletcher. The next one will cost him a point.
A little too antsy.
He's fired up for his final home match in a Buckeyes singlet, no doubt about that. And for McKenna, he's had to, as you said, weather the storm and just continue wrestling. It cost him a stall warning. It cost him a stall point trying to do that.
McKenna can't hang out here too long.
Well, Pletcher has that leg keeping the turn in. Thought maybe he was going to be able to rotate the hips to look for a reversal, but McKenna did a nice job there staying calm in the moment.
Kind of riding really tough on Luke. A really deep half. Definitely torquing that shoulder. Ref's going to go potentially dangerous, get a fresh start. Definitely helps Luke Pletcher right here.
Yeah, I would say so. It didn't look like McKenna was in a great spot for a turn, but that can certainly punish and wear on a guy. And now for the rest of the match, McKenna's going to have to be cognizant of starting on time when the whistle blows. That time it's a caution on McKenna.
Both guys know how important this fast start is. Again,
another one.
That's our fourth false start already.
Well, we've seen several times throughout the course of this duel today where it looked like there was a little bit of a jump by one guy or the other that did not get called. There's what's called a clean start, and Pletcher immediately to his feet and away. Riding time at this point, not consequential.
21 seconds in favor of McKenna. Even though Pletcher's gotten a couple of takedowns, did not spend much time on top. Things have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Can't maintain that pace that we saw from the first period.
Now, Pletcher has never been a guy, regardless of the style of a match he is wrestling, who you've worried too much about running out of energy near the end. In fact, that's been one of the things that has enabled him to have success, is having enough in the tank in the third period to win a 2-1 or 3-2 match.
Yeah, he's been one of the most consistent guys in Ohio State's lineup, probably in quite a bit of time. And he wins pretty much all the matches he's supposed to, wins a couple that he's not supposed to, and just been really reliable for Ohio State.
McKenna for Northwestern has gone 5-6 on the season so far. Of New Trier High School, Winnetka, Illinois. And there's another stall call, another point. And Pletcher now looks to turn that into another three-point move. The first time he got a stall call in the midst of a shot that turned into a takedown. Here, the clock ticking down now, so he is not going to score the takedown to finish off the second period. But the second stall point puts him up 9-2 as we go to the third.
Sconiolo wants a word with the referee. Guessing he didn't like that stall call. Probably going to see a coach's warning here, though.
Yeah, in all likelihood, when you're talking about stalling, those are judgment calls, and you're not supposed to question those. And there it is. Indeed, the bench warning issued. But sometimes a coach strategically will take one of those and just make sure he's getting his point across to the referee.
And the dual meet, for all intents and purposes, is out of reach. So if you lose a team point, so what?
Yeah.
We do have blood time, though, it appears. So we'll take a little bit of break before we start the third period.
Andrew Howe there in the background, an accomplished wrestler in his own right for a couple of different universities.
Pletcher going to start on top. He's going to be either a takedown ride out or a pair of takedowns to secure the major, which I'm sure he has in his sights. Both guys have 2 false starts already, so if either of them jump the gun here, it's going to be a point.
And for Pletcher, optional start. And listen, if you need a couple of takedowns, that's That's one of the ways to go. With the advent of the uncontested escape, I'm not sure why anybody goes optional start anymore.
I like it.
Maybe if you see an opportunity for a crash cradle or something like that, which we saw earlier that resulted in a pin for the Buckeyes.
Nice go behind from Luke. Gets 2. Gonna need one more takedown for the major. I like the optional start. It just makes the guy get up. You make it a little bit hard for him, give him some pressure, make him fight to his feet. It's a little bit tougher than just having him stand up and start from your feet. A little psychological warfare, a little extra wear and tear. Give him a nice shove here and there.
And I suppose it depends on the opponent as well, because if you tell a guy, I don't care if you get up, just stand up. Let's just wrestle on our feet. That can, depending on the mindset of a guy, be just as mind-numbing, I suppose. Or what?
Luke loses a leg, but able to chase it back down.
Great pursuit, I guess is the way you want to call it. You don't often hear the word pursuit uttered in a wrestling match, but that's pretty much what that was there for Luke Pletcher. He was in on the leg, lost it, and just kept on chasing and turned it into the takedown.
So he does have the major, is able to give up an escape as well. Riding time not going to be a factor.
30 seconds remaining regulation.
Kind of gets to his feet. We'll see what Luke decides to do. Tries to return him and able to trip him back down.
Pletcher has not been warned for stalling in this match. McKenna has. Of course, fans here at Ohio State are used to cheering for McKennas over the past several years and not rooting against them as they are here at the Covelli Center.
It's 22 seconds left here. All that stands between Luke Pletcher and his final match getting a major decision. Seems he does not want to give up this one, even though he's able to.
Doesn't need the takedown for the major, but you can tell at this point this is a pride thing.
Right.
And McKenna, he's got his own pride, certainly, and over the next 12 seconds, he's going to do what he can do to get off the bottom.
Right. The escape not going to be enough. If he does get a reversal, though, that would get rid of the major.
Boy, that was a quick start on somebody. I'm not sure who exactly it was, but the referee allowed it. And for Pletcher, with that mat return, the clock will tick to 000. And the Buckeye senior in his last match here in Columbus, Ohio, comes away with the 13-4 major decision. Luke Pletcher has put together a lot of big wins for Ohio State over the years. He acknowledges the crowd, and they likewise send him off the mat with a standing ovation.